My name is Erin. I am an educator with Janome Canada. Welcome to all of our readers and listeners who follow the Janome Life blog and all the activities of Janome Canada. I am super excited to visit a little bit with Melissa Marginet. She is one of our new artisans. So welcome, Melissa.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
We are so excited to have you. Before we get started with our questions, I was wondering if you would just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in a very small community. I've always been creative, lived next door to my grandmother, who was a very creative person, and spent a lot of time with her. I've spent the last 35 years in a government job, and I'm about to retire this July and looking forward to diving headfirst into more and more quilting activities.
That is so exciting. I was wondering if you could tell us what your earliest sewing memory is.
Well, I remember sitting at my mom's robin egg blue Singer sewing machine and sewing a Halloween costume. And the sewing machine she had instead of a foot pedal, it had a knee pedal.
Oh, interesting.
And you know, now we use the knee lift on our machines, and I absolutely love a machine with a knee lift because I can keep my hands on the machine and not have to take one, or my hands on my quilt and not take one away to have to lift the foot. And it's funny how sometimes I'm all ready to sew and my leg goes out to use the knee thing just because I can feel it on the side of my leg. And then I remember, oh no, it's a foot pedal.
That's awesome. And for me, I can't get used to using a knee lift, and I really feel like I should force myself to try it because it sounds like it would be really handy to have that. It's like a third arm, right?
Exactly.
So how old would you have been at about that time?
Oh, probably about 8.
Okay, so you started young. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's really good when people start quilting and sewing when they're young. It really, I think, helps contribute to the whole creative process inside your brain to learn something like that at a young age. So
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us, why do you love Janome? I'm sure over your quilting career, you've tried a number of different machines. So what made you fall in love with Janome?
Well, it was the AccuFeed FlexFoot. When I saw that and tried it, and the first machine I got was the 6700P, which has the larger throat space, which is absolutely amazing. To be able to, you know, do a large quilt on that machine is fairly easy because of the large throat space. Janome, I just found once I started looking into it too, they're very into the Canadian consumer. It's a brand that really has a lot in Canada, and I feel they're sensitive to Canadians as well as Americans and wherever else they're selling.
That's awesome. So I too love the 6700P. I love the whole feed dog system. I love the throat space. So if you had a sewing superpower, you know, we hear about this, well, if you could do this, what would you do? Kind of thing. So if you had a sewing superpower, what would it be?
To stop time so I could do more.
Sometimes it feels like there is not enough hours in the day, right? To be able to access all that creativity. So yeah. I know that you have written a book about walking foot quilting, and I heard through the grapevine that you have another one coming out.
I do. I'm just in the final processes. I got the draft copy in the mail the other day.
Ooh, that's exciting.
So it's a similar idea. I mean, it's to do with the walking foot, but all the designs in here span from one edge of the quilt to the other. So unless your bobbin thread breaks or you run out of bobbin thread, you don't have to bury any threads.
That's really exciting. I really am excited for that because I hate burying threads. Right. I'm a big fan of the lock stitch.
Yeah. And every every design in the book, they're also designed so you don't have to rotate your quilt. You don't have to do a lot of turning. You're turning at most, 45 degrees in one direction.
Well, that's exciting. So that makes it really a tool that can be used with a machine of any size throat space then, right?
Right.
That's really exciting. And I know you are a huge fan of walking foot quilting. I like walking foot quilting because it's easier on my hands, and I
Yeah.
think you can do some really beautiful things just using your walking foot. So tell us, what is your favorite thing about sewing and making things?
Oh, I really love finishing something and having it. Like sometimes I'll make something, and even if it's a gift I'm gonna give away, I'll
Mm-hmm.
lay it over the couch for a few days. And my husband has said to me, "You really like looking at the things you've made." And yeah, it's just sense of accomplishment
Mm-hmm.
when I look at it, and I'm proud of the things I make. I take time to do it well, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of it.
That's awesome. So here's another impromptu question. Are you team quilt label or team not quilt label?
Oh, definitely team quilt label.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
I am on team not quilt label at the moment because I'm just sort of happy to get something done. I have a busy house over here, so it is. I do agree that having that feeling of accomplishment is such a huge thing. It almost gets you excited for the next project.
So what I did for labels,
Oh
let me see
yes,
if I
show us.
get it here, because I find that as much I just want to get it finished, and I
Mhm.
often have trouble with the labels. So I designed one, and I had it printed on spoon flour.
Oh, what a great idea.
So I just automatically put it on. It doesn't take any extra time because it's
Yeah.
already made, and then I'll just add the year to it.
What a great idea. That is so smart. When I used to scrapbook, I always did, well, you need to have some sort of handwriting on your scrapbook page because your handwriting, it shows you your personality, right? And
Right.
how many of us, when we've lost someone, when we see their handwriting, it brings up so much emotion. So I imagine going back and looking at all your different quilts and seeing that really helps cement that idea of finishing something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you've told us a little bit about your 6700P. I heard you
Mhm.
just got a new machine. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, so the 9450 is what I'm going to be working with as a Janome artisan. I just set it up 2 days ago. Was sewing with it last night. I'm piecing a quilt top to start getting used to the feel of it. I haven't delved into too many of the features yet, but I do have the workbook for it, and I plan to go through that. So that's going to be exciting, learning all the features that it has.
Mm-hmm.
It's also got a stitch creator, which I'm really excited about because to be able to even just a zigzag or something that you want to vary and you want it to represent something, you could create your own, and it's unique.
That's awesome.
So
And I imagine being able to create your own stitches in in combination with walking foot quilting, like the possibilities are really
yeah,
anything can happen, right?
exactly.
So do you have any samples you want to show us? Because quilters, we love show and tell. So if you have a couple things handy, we'd love to see them.
Yeah, sure. So I've got a couple things on the back wall.
Okay.
Um, the Fusion, which is a pattern that I just released,
Hmm.
is made from cherry wood fabrics, and it's designed specifically for their cherry wood fat quarter bundles.
Hmm.
Um, and it's for sale on their website along with the fabrics too. Um, Something I do a lot of is challenges. And Curated Quilts always has a challenge, and this is what I did for their black and white challenge. So you can see
Oh,
all the
that is
stitching.
beautiful. That is gorgeous.
And sometimes a challenge is just something I have for myself. I had a bunch of scraps of different shades of beiges and whites, and I think there's a little bit of a light yellow in there. And
Mhm.
I just pieced them all together and then, quilted it.
That's beautiful.
I really like using the heavyweight threads, and the Janome uh, stitches with them beautifully. I like a 12 weight thread.
Mhm.
This again is done with a 12 weight thread. So I can just
Oh,
come
I
up.
love the texture.
So
And
this is
that,
an example of my edge to edge quilting.
okay.
And
It
then it's
almost looks
custom
like you've done
quilted.
circles,
Well,
sort of.
yeah, you get other patterns from doing simple lines. You can get other patterns out of it. So you'll notice that everything that's in blue is quilted one way, and everything in yellow is a different pattern, and the red is yet another pattern,
Mhm.
but yet it's quilted all the way through.
That is so cool. Those are awesome. So I hear you're going to be at Quilt Canada.
Yes,
That's
I
exciting.
I don't have anything specific. Like I'm not teaching there this year. I have taught for
Okay.
Quilt Canada before, and I'm not teaching there this year, but I'm just going to be hanging around. And I did book a class, and I love the evening lectures, so I booked those. And come check out the Janome booth, of course, and everything else that's
Mhm.
going on.
That's awesome. So when your new book comes out, can people, will they be able to purchase it at Quilt Canada or will they be able to get it signed? Have you set up anything like that yet?
Liz Thompson actually suggested that I could possibly do something at the Janome booth.
Oh, excellent.
Book.
That'll be
So,
so exciting.
yeah, yeah, but I don't
Well,
have a booth myself or anything there.
no, that's okay. Well, I'm excited to see you at Quilt Canada, and I'm probably gonna bring my other walking foot book and, you know, get your autograph on it. That's kind of a fun thing to do when you meet people in the quilting industry and you
Yeah,
have something that they've created. It's kind of fun. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day. I know you're looking forward to retiring and to getting going with quilting, and we are so excited to see what you are going to come up with for our blog.
great. I'm happy to be on board with the team, and who knows where this will go.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to sign off now, but thank you guys, everyone, for watching. And I will drop links in the bottom of where you can get Melissa's book and her patterns. Thank you so
Bye now.
much. Bye.